Sorry, I don't know what happened. We got disconnected. So, back to what I was saying. Play out your fears. Worst case scenario. And then the right column, or whatever column you choose, what is that worst case scenario? And for me, my standard of worst case scenario was, am I going to die, or is somebody else going to be harmed in the process? And if I could answer no to both of those, then I knew that fear had been blown up way too big in my mind, because those were worst case scenarios for me. Death of myself or harming someone else. Anything else other than that, they're going to be fine, right? Like, it's not that big a deal, Kim. Get over it. So play out those fears on a piece of paper, those 50. On the other side, what's the worst case scenario? And figure out what your worst case scenario is. So then that helps kind of, I don't know, it helps make those fears not so big, right? Like, they become a lot more manageable and are based more in reality at that point. So my next tip would be develop a growth mindset. I've already talked about in a post before Carol Dweck's book, Mindset. It is phenomenal. If you can get your hands on it, get your hands on it. Because she talks about having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So growth mindset says my life is just a big adventure, right? And I get to learn from everything, from my failures, which there's no such thing as failures, right? They're just an experience that I got to learn from, and that I will continue to learn and grow and develop. Versus a fixed mindset says I'm born with my intellect, my skills, my talents, and they're limited. So to use my relationship as an example, a fixed mindset would say, Kim, if you get a divorce, you're going to end up single for the rest of your life, and you're not going to find anybody else to love you because you're unlovable. And so that held me in my marriage longer than it should have. But again, it was an irrational fear, right? Like, seriously, there is 7 billion people in this world. Like, no one else is going to love you. That is just, it's ludicrous. So when I started developing the growth mindset, I saw like, hey, like, I'm grateful that I had this 9-year marriage because I learned a lot about relationships, what I want, what I don't want, what works, what doesn't work, what I want in a partner, and what I will not tolerate in a partner. So I learned from it, I grew from it, and I knew that I could take it to another relationship and grow and develop in that relationship. So again, mindset, like, it's huge. It's a game changer. Developing a growth one will empower you so much and help you turn your life into what you want, because it's no longer this scary thing. It becomes an adventure. Something else, I have always had this motto: ask for what you want, right? Asking for what you want is a way of communication, right? Ask for what you want from your friends, your family, your coworkers, your boss, the universe. It's just a way of communicating, like, hey, here I am in this world. Here's what I would like to try, what I would like to experience, what I want. The worst case scenario is that they're going to say no, right? And like, no is not that big a deal. But if we don't communicate to the universe and the people around us what we're wanting and what we're desiring, then how are we going to manifest those things? How are people going to help us get there? How are people going to come alongside us in our journey if we're not verbalizing these things we want? So ask for what you want, right? The scariest thing for asking what we want is hearing that no. And no really is not that big a deal, because my second thing is no, don't ever take it as a final answer, right? It's not the final answer. That person told you no. Either find another way to ask for what you want from them, find a way to get what you want from someone else, but don't ever take no as a final answer. No is just another way to think about how to be creative about going and get what you want. If you've ever spent any time with a toddler, my 2-year-old niece, she has no problem telling me no. She's like, no. Unapologetically, just not trying to be mean. That's just how she feels. No, I don't want to do that. And it really made me realize, like, we put so much emotion around no, right? Like, I won't say no. You ask me like, Kim, will you go do this? And I'm like, okay, I guess, because I don't want to hurt your feelings. Instead of me saying like, no, I'm sorry, no thanks, right? You get an opportunity to be creative and figure out another way to ask, and I get to be empowered and ask for what I want and say, no, I don't want that. So no is not a big deal. It's not the end all be all, right? So don't take it as a final answer. And then take action, right? Even one little step, one tiny little step, becomes another step and another step and another step. And within a few months, like your life is changing. And within a year, your life is a 180. And it's just by little tiny steps taking action, right? Like if you don't like your job, spend 15 minutes, an hour today, like figuring out people that do jobs that you do like, or research what it takes to do a job that you're interested in, or just researching other careers out there. Identify people that are doing those things and go have a conversation with them. Gathering information. That's it. It's not committing you to quit. It's not committing you to turn in your letter of resignation. It's not committing you to do anything. It's gathering information. And that's a step. So one action. So those are kind of my thoughts on recreating your life. Figuring out what the fears are. Are they irrational? Having a growth mindset. Not taking no for a final answer, asking for what you want, and taking one action a day, every other day, just small little steps. So I hope this is helpful. I know all of you can't watch at the same time, so please comment, ask questions. I always go back and check the comments. I love if you want to talk about things. We'll have a phone call, email, whatever. I'm cheering for you. This can be done. I talk to people all the time that have manifested the life they want, and I am on that path, and I'm believing that my life can be a beautiful thing that I have created instead of just being a passive observer of life. So I love you guys. Have a fantastic Thursday. We're one day away from Friday. Woo! So have a great day.